30 months ago, I was not very confident at all. I felt shy. I couldn't speak to anyone. I couldn't stand out from a crowd. I couldn't just start a conversation with a random stranger. At the time, I was playing a lot of video games. I was staying on my phone a lot. I was just in bed. And I felt lifeless. I felt so purposeless with life. I just didn't know what I was doing. I was going to school and whatnot, and it just felt so mundane, boring. I just really hated it, to be honest. I really disliked that time of my life. As I felt down, I didn't feel good, and I just felt just completely done for. I felt completely lost. I wouldn't say I had much discipline at all at the time. As growing up, I did a lot of karate, I did a lot of martial arts, and I had discipline. But that year, it was year 11 at the time, I remember, where I wasn't doing any sports anymore. I was just really playing Xbox and going on my phone, and sometimes once in a while going out to the park and whatnot. That time in my life, I didn't have much discipline at all. I wasn't striving for anything. I wasn't showing up. I wasn't doing hard things at all. Instead, I was just doing the things that felt enjoyable. I was just going on my phone. I was playing video games. I was just eating pizzas and whatnot. I remember this feeling, this sense of I don't want to really be me. I wish I could change with one of the cool kids in school. I wish I could be a cool kid. I wish I could chat to the girls and be just be like how they were. That was the feeling that I had through that year of high school. I was just wishing that I could swap and I could do something else. I could be someone else and just start over again. As I used to always imagine, what if I could be a kid again and just try change it all and try become confident, try just become so different to what I am now. But that was just because who I was at the time. That was just because of how I was, who I was as a person. But one day I remember seeing my friend. It was I want to say it was the first day of year 11 in high school. And over the summer holidays, I heard that my friend was going gym. He was training, and it seemed like every day, as every time I saw him, he was telling me he was training. I never saw him physically in person, but I just heard he was going gym a lot. And I felt a bit jealous. I was I wish I could do the same, but I just didn't have a discipline. I didn't have the want, the drive, the confidence to go in the gym. But as he came back to school, that first day of school, I remember him. It was a sunny day and he took his blazer off. So he was just in a white shirt. And he was standing there. I remember seeing his arms, and they were just twice the size of everyone else's. I was looking at him. I was damn, how is that I just respected him so much. I never respected someone as much as that. As I was looking at him, and I was I really want that. I really wish I was him. As he was just massive compared to everyone else. And he was so much better than everyone else. I remember him going out with the hottest girl in class, and he was just the man now. And the year before, he was the same as me. He was nerdy. He didn't do much at all. But now he was the man. He was just sick. So it took a little while, but I got him to take me to the gym. And I remember working out with him and some of my other friends. And I started to become obsessed with the gym. I started to become motivated. I started to be yeah, I want to work out every day. I want to get like him. I want to get in this good shape. I started to really love the gym, really enjoy it, and really just show up to each session. As I was able to stay consistent, and once I stayed consistent, I was starting to see progress as I would show up each day and I'd make the progress. But before I learned how to stay consistent, it was a real struggle at first. I remember having to bike to the gym in all the different weathers. I'd have to walk there, and sometimes it'd be pouring it down with rain. Other times it would be freezing bloody cold, or sometimes it would be sunny and you'd be sweating. No matter what the weather was, it was hard getting to the gym. And this held a lot of friction with me, trying to get to the gym. It's when you're older, you can just drive in a car and whatnot. But when you're younger, when you're under 17 and whatnot, you got to bike, you got to walk, you got to do these effort strenuous things. But you pushing myself and getting the discipline to start going to the gym. It was hard, but I just started to do it. And every time I got home from school and I was okay, I've got to go to the gym now. I was I can't be asked to, I don't want to, I don't feel like it. Every time I had that moment, it was an opportunity. It was an opportunity either to level up the discipline that I had or level up the laziness that I had. As I started to gamify it for myself, I started to see it as this game. And you know how you have attributes on a game, how you can level up a character's attributes and make him more charismatic, make him stronger, make him faster. I started to see I had this attribute of discipline. And every time I do something when I don't want to do it, every time I go to the gym when I don't want to go to the gym, I'm leveling up this attribute. And there's still loads of times I skipped it. Just thinking this didn't make me go to the gym every time, but it made me more motivated to. So I started to go to the gym. I started to level up this attribute, and I remember one day, like, I rolled my ankle and like I sprained it really badly and it was all swollen. But I was like, okay, I've got to level up this attribute of discipline. And I went to the gym like on this really bad ankle, and then for like the next week or two, I couldn't walk and I was on crutches. So obviously, there's a point where you've got to be smarter than like try level up the discipline. But even that, I'm pretty proud of. Is like that does require quite a lot of discipline and quite a lot of like drive to go to the gym, quite a lot of willpower to go to the gym when your ankle's that bad. But through this and through like gaining this discipline, it started to develop in other areas of life. As I was more determined to like do work in college, I was more just like, I had better self-esteem. I viewed myself as a better person. And this meant like I would just do stuff. I would speak to the person first. I'd ask my friend if he wants to go out. We'd go to the park. I'd arrange it. I'd become more of like a leader, more of a man, more like masculine. It's the best way I can describe it. And this was from the discipline. This was from like having to do the stuff that I didn't want to do, as it made me understand like it's good to do that. It's good to feel the hardship and push through it. As I don't ever remember regretting a gym session, and I don't think anyone ever does, as you don't feel like it. You walk through the door, you don't feel like it, but you get like 30 minutes in a session, you're starting to sweat a bit, you're starting to have a good time, and it's like you're in the zone now, you're really enjoying it. But it's those days that you don't feel like it, it's literally the best days. They're the days that make the muscle. As I don't know how to explain it, but once you do it, and like you didn't want to do it, but you do it anyway, you feel so good after. You feel so much more uplifted. So instead of just staying motivated and wanting to do it every day, the days you don't do it and you do it, you feel just brilliant. But there were still hundreds of sessions that I've missed, maybe even more than hundreds, as there were so many times where I just made this stupid excuse in my head, like, it's too late, I can't go now, the gym will close soon, even though it's 24 hours and whatnot. I was like, oh, it's too dark outside to go. Like, there was so many excuses in my head that I can make. And I wish I never made, well, it was necessary to make them, but I wish I tried not to, and I wish I noticed them more. As you're going to miss sessions, you're not going to be perfect from the start, you're not going to have a perfect track record. But try not to make excuses. Try not to tell yourself, like, if you don't want to go, just like tell yourself, okay, I'm just lazy and I don't want to go today. It's like, that was a real reason for me. And like, once you realise that's a reason for some of your things, sometimes you go, or sometimes you'll just be like, okay, I'm lazy and I won't go. And you just allow that to happen. But don't try and make an excuse of like, because your mum hasn't cooked dinner yet, you can't go, as it's too late now. Instead, just saying, no, I'm lazy, I'm not wanting to go today, so I'm not going to go. And just admit to the real reason why you're not going. And that's what I've needed to do more, as I'd have an excuse and I'd just use the excuse. I'd cling to the excuse. Instead, the real excuse was I just couldn't be asked to go that day. But I don't remember when the change happened, but I got to a point where I wasn't missing days in the gym. I was just showing up each session. And I think it was when I started to see progress, when I started to get stronger, when I started to see I was getting better than everyone else, I started to go to the gym properly and I started to go more. As you become more motivated, you become more like, there's more of a reward for going, as you start to know the gym is working. So once you start to go more and more, you're like showing up for long sessions and you're staying there for a good amount of time. As I remember going on holiday, and even then I was still going to the gym. And that's because I made a gym a habit. I made it like brushing your teeth. Like, it was something you just had to do each day. And if you didn't brush your teeth, and like you go for a whole day without brushing your teeth feel like proper ugly. They feel proper like clangy, and you know your breath smells. And it was the same for me for going to the gym. If I didn't go to the gym, like, I just wouldn't feel good. I would feel like quite down. I wouldn't have as much energy and I wouldn't feel as good. So once it becomes a strong habit, it becomes more enjoyable, as you just automatically go to the gym. There's not like a thought in my mind sometimes when it's like, should I go to the gym today or not? It's just like, I'm going gym today. I don't debate it anymore. It's not like on the scales anymore. It's just, I'm going gym, I'm going gym, I'm going gym. And once it becomes a habit, once it becomes disciplined, you just go every session, and that's what happened for me. But thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next video.